I want to talk about the second pick. This is a guy that 35, they just stole him. Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame. I know him and Kincaid on most boards were like Gonzalez and Witherspoon 1A, 1B. The majority of teams had him ahead of Kincaid. But because there was so much depth in this tight end, people were like, okay, well, I'm going to take this guy because I'll be able to get a tight end later. But here's the deal. I had told you this off on the phone outside of our podcast. I never had Mayer slotted to them in a mock draft because never thought he'd be available.
Right.
I mean, just it's like I never had Bryce Young. I never had Will Anderson in them to a mock draft. No chance. Never. If you would have told me going into this draft they got Tyree and Mayer, I'd have told you you were nuts. This was a steal. Now, I've mentioned before, he has the toughness of Mark Bavaro, the hands of Antonio Gates. This is a four down guy. This is an old school. I could see Mayer playing with a leather helmet. I love this pick, and I give it an A. Your thoughts?
Well, we are in lockstep here. I give it a definite A. And if you remember last week when you asked me for a guy who may surprise people,
Yep.
I said he's not going to surprise people with the impact, but I picked Michael Mayer because I thought people were going to overthink it and cause him to drop. And that's exactly what happened. And the Raiders pounced right there at 35. He's not going to come in and do what Darren Waller did. He's not a freak of nature. You move around the formation and do a whole bunch of things with there. But what he's going to do is the guys that you mentioned, like an old school Mark Bavaro. He's Jason Witten is a comp I've seen thrown out a lot. Todd Heap, who had a really stellar career for excuse me, for the Baltimore Ravens for a long time. That's the type of guy you get. He's going to do the dirty work. He's got no problem doing the dirty work to block for a Josh Jacobs. And then, he may do that one play, and the next play, he may catch a 3rd and 6 to move the chains and keep your drive going. He was really the only true consistent receiving threat that Notre Dame had this year.
He was the Notre Dame offense.
Basically, for large portions of the year, he was the Notre Dame offense, and teams were bracketing him, and they were all over him, and he was making plays left and right still. So I think he's a kid that, as long as he's healthy, he is going to play 10, 12 years in the league, no problem, be a starting tight end and have an excellent career.